didn't have any pants on. I'm not wearing any pants, guys. Hi! Today I have Christine with me. We just watched Miss USA Prelims 2017. I've never been to Miss USA.
It was amazing.
We
sat super close. We were in
We
the
did! Who's sitting down an intro to you? For me, I already had a bunch of favorites going in, so I was waiting to see, are my favorites going to still be my favorites? Or is there going to be a girl that I didn't notice that stood out? Nope, my favorites were still my favorites and nobody changed my mind. That's where I was.
I ended up putting Massachusetts on my list.
Yep.
Florida, we have both agreed. She
Florida.
came out of nowhere for us.
Good for you, Florida. And you know what? Florida has gone through a lot because she lost her director this year. There's all this drama. I can only imagine how not ideal it is to go to Miss USA and lose your director like Maybelline Capaloo did in 2013. So she lost her director during her year of reign. That's not a good idea because all of a sudden you're like, who's preparing me for Miss USA? Alabama, you have to love her. She's so happy every time you see her, and that makes me happy. I liked Tommy Lynn, yes, Arizona, I thought she did good. I love her story. That's a girl to me that has heart. California in intros, I liked it, but I felt that throughout the pageant, her hair really died. What was going on there? I know that there's gotta be a story to that. Illinois is, like I've said the whole time, stunning, stunning. That the camera loves that girl. Minnesota has been one of my faves for a while now, and especially just watching them at the photos all week. I've been talking about it all week. Just Minnesota, just so facially beautiful. Nevada obviously stood out. I didn't think, I've watched Lauren compete for years. If you watch the channel, you know. I felt that she's looked more confident on stage. Granted, the judges have never seen her compete, so they're gonna have a fresh view. And North Carolina for intros, that was it for me. Loved the straight hair on Minnesota and North Carolina. Oh, intro, New York. Intro was so cute and confident. She does look really young, but I still love her. Shoot, I think I just read my swimsuit list.
Wow, I know. Well,
I read my swimsuit.
yeah, I definitely have.
I ruined it.
I had a really hard time, like probably many of you, between the two bombshell redheads here, between Pennsylvania and New York. Looking at their candidates, their Georgina Vaughn official photos,
Right.
I was really blown away by them both, but I was leaning more towards Pennsylvania going into tonight until
Very facially beautiful.
it took me forever, but I think during swimwear it really,
She killed it.
yeah,
New York did.
absolutely.
New York. You know what's funny is she won her state pageant as a blonde.
What?
She's blonde. She was blonde for state, and then she went red. And I said, "Girl, you are daring. You are daring." Who does that? Who changes their main hair color? Actually, Montana's done it before.
Wow.
Montana, a couple years ago, there was a title holder who won as a blonde and then went brunette for nationals. I liked Arizona for swims. I thought she was pretty confident.
I have Louisiana. I thought she did exceptional. She really impressed me. She's just so facially stunning. She's just beautiful and effervescent. And then Massachusetts, Minnesota,
Massachusetts,
Nevada.
everything. Like I said, for Lauren, I was expecting just a little bit more magic on stage. I think that the idea of the competition and finally getting to the stage might have gotten to her. Where she's standing out there and I've tried for so long, wow, I'm at Miss USA. I'm a little nervous for the first time. I think it's the first time she's really gone into a competition against girls who she realizes are heavy hitters. That she's like, oh my gosh, that I'm on a stage of equals here. So that's the difference. And I lost my fully.
Tennessee.
I love Tennessee.
Tennessee just was like, what?
Her name is the cutest. Allie Sutton Heathcote. I thought that India did well for swim for Miss California. I didn't love her gown choice. I know I'm skipping ahead to gown. I think that she's a very beautiful girl. She's 6 feet tall. She can wear a lot of different styles. And I was not in love with that style for her.
There were so many different swimwear styles this year, which was kind of refreshing.
I liked the frilly ones.
The frilly off the shoulder, which was pretty.
I would
and
wear that
then
and do this on
the
stage.
combination of swimsuit that Texas wore, the coral,
That looked amazing on
color
her.
block, it was beautiful.
And guess what? Texas did not wear a white gown. How many years have I begged for Texas not to wear a white dress? Like, thank you, Miss Texas organization. Please don't put her in a white dress for finals. Please don't do that to me. I've just been waiting for so long.
But I wanted to ask you about what you felt, and maybe your fans will talk about how
Let
they
us
felt
know. Comments.
about the one-piece swimsuits.
Yes. I thought that they both looked great in the swimsuit, but it was surprising for me because South Carolina is very fit. For a girl who has abs and is really toned to wear a one piece, that's a very interesting choice. For me, it didn't bother me. I don't mind it.
They're huge right now. They're huge.
Wouldn't mark her down for
which
it.
makes it definitely, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards that it's actually a good choice for trying to stand out with all the different swimsuit styles. It was that emerald green. It was beautiful, beautiful. So in person to us, it was
I loved it. I would still score her well.
Absolutely.
I didn't feel like she was covering up. It complimented her, which is all that I care about. I thought South Carolina was amazing in swim. One of the most confident contestants on stage. Minnesota just killing it for everything for me. I just want to see her all day on stage. And then of course, when North Carolina came out for swimsuit, I said, well, there's Miss USA. Done. I didn't even need to see anybody else after North Carolina, and I didn't need to see anybody else for confirmation after North Carolina to believe that that's Miss USA standing on stage. I was just watching her all day thinking, do you know? Do you know? I think the only way she can lose is during an onstage question. We will see. And if you guys know what I'm referencing, check out her onstage question for her state pageant. So I hope that she has improved from her state pageant. Gown.
Our favorite competition, hands down.
Yes.
That's why she keeps fast forwarding to it.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Love the gowns.
Loved Alaska. Loved. I am such a fan of Alaska because she's all about her brand. She makes a ton of appearances. She's gotten photo shoots from every single person. She's photogenic. She's fit. She's working hard. I can appreciate that in a contestant. You know that that would be a Miss USA that's going to work, work, work. I also love that her Joey Galan gown incorporated that she was Native American. When do we see girls bring their culture into a Miss USA gown?
So I bet you guys were thinking the same thing I was thinking was, whoa, what is she doing with this giant cape on stage? Is that Little Red Riding Hood or what is going on? But then as soon as she revealed it and it was actually the train of her dress, it was like,
you could hear the audience go just like when Miss Venezuela took off the bottom of her overskirt at Miss Universe and everybody goes like that. It was just like that.
It was.
I just appreciated that it incorporated her culture, and if you look at her Instagram account, Miss AK USA, you'll see that she actually has her tribal robe on her Instagram. So that gown was a recreation of her tribal robe, which is like it was amazing.
I want to talk about the common theme of this year's gowns, and I'm sure you guys noticed that we saw a lot of very familiar colors across the board in formal wear. There was the white and the gold, and we had, you know, the metallics and the greens, but you know, it seemed like there were a lot of blondes and gold and a lot of fringe. The one girl that blew us away, that I think, well, I speak for me, blew me away, is she was the only one with this color gown in this way, was Hawaii. For me, what the favorite thing for Hawaii for me was just that she walked out, owned her double slit gown, and that when you can't, she was just this vision of chiffon. It was perfect.
It was so great and different on her. I really did love that. But in terms of performance, not one of my favorite performances. I still loved Massachusetts. Loved that she went with a custom couture black dress, same straight hair she wore for state. It worked at state. It was beautiful here. Illinois, like I said, has been one of my favorites. I was not thrilled that she wore a gold fringe dress like Deshauna. If there's any lesson you can learn from a pageant, girls, is that one year's winner, however she won in her dress, that's how she won. That worked for her. Don't do what she did and try to copy it or look extremely similar, because this is Miss USA. They're gonna get a fresh look every single year. You are not gonna get two girls. We're not in the 80s where a white gown, white gown, white gown is gonna happen in the 90s. No, it's not Miss America where we're gonna do white gown, colored gown, white gown, colored gown. No, this is Miss USA. This is a new look. You better not show up looking like last year's contestant. So I was sad about Illinois. I love her so much. And I also thought that the fringe was a little bit too much. It hit too high on her body. It should have been a little bit lower because it did cover her figure, and she's very fit. So for me, that was a miss, although I still love her. I would still give her a decent score if I was judging.
Georgia really stood out for me.
But I felt like Georgia should be at Miss Universe in that gown.
But that's where they're headed.
It's where they're headed.
I thought she could stand up there against Venezuela.
Yeah, but the thing is, I did prefer her performance for swim and gown at her state pageant. So I'm hoping that she does make semifinals and that she will replicate that energy that she had at state, because that's what you need to get into that top 3. Somebody else that obviously you talked about was New York. I didn't love the tone of green on her. I didn't like that tone of green with that color of hair, but her performance overpowered that for me, so I was okay with it. Something that bothered me though were all of the contestants that were wearing dresses that looked like teens. You can wear a ball gown and be a miss. Virginia did a great job choosing an age-appropriate ball gown. She had a nice center slit, there was a low V, but it also wasn't too much skin at the same time. She looked like a miss, but we saw some other contestants tonight that were wearing ball gowns that are appropriate for teen contestants. Big mistake at Miss USA. Florida wearing Fernando Wong was just beautiful. She was different, she was couture, she was everything. The hair looked great. She was confident. I think Florida deserves a spot in the top 10. Minnesota's risk. Minnesota wore the sheer pants, like a jumpsuit under her dress. I don't mind that. I thought that there was a clash between the style of beading on the top of the dress and the fabric used for the bottom, the floral applique. I wish, like I said, it would have just been a little more cohesive for me, but I don't care. I love her so much that I would have still been like, yes, top 5, you're gonna be up there.
And so I loved it. It took me a second. I thought it was definitely different. It was beautiful. The more I looked at it, the more I liked it. Mm-hmm. At first, I wasn't sure, but then as she walked across and I could see her on the screen, mm-hmm. I really was like, I'm totally digging it.
North Carolina, like I said, just
she was amazing.
Did it for me a gown. What was so interesting is I love that at USA you can do well with not one single rhinestone on your dress, that you don't need that to shine on stage. Mm-hmm. Her dress was so different. My one critique of it was because it was gold with a black underlay. And it was these pleats. It was very like a Marilyn Monroe. If you ever seen that Marilyn Monroe picture where she's wearing that bronze pleated gown, it's an iconic image. And I saw that and I thought of that almost vintage sort of
Roman.
Look. Right, but I also thought that with that black undertone under the dress, it made it look almost 1980s. And I thought that when I saw her in the dress, that it picked up her tan, it made her tan look a little bit darker. I thought it was aging her a little bit. And that's my only critique of that. But I have a feeling she's going to change the gown for finale because the gown was so simple and so plain. It was different. I don't know who the designer was.
I have no idea.
Love that.
It reminded me of a gown that I would see at the Oscars,
yes.
Walking the red carpet. So for me, it was very like Hollywood. It was the golden statue.
Love how
she looked amazing. Nobody else. She stood out in a sea of gold gowns because there was a lot of gold.
But her dress was nothing like anybody's. The accordion pleat fabric that helped give her curves, because she isn't an extremely curvy girl. The hair pulled back. She was everything. She was everything. All she did was walk on stage, little smile. And I'm Miss USA, where's the crown? But she really did remind me of Shandy Finnessy when she won Miss USA. Hello.
Love her.
Ponytail.
Love.
And also because Shandy and Susie coach her. So for me, because you have such a facially beautiful contestant, it makes sense that they would put her in your back. I would do it too. I would say, girl, your face is incredible. We gotta feature it. Like everybody, all face all day. You can do it. Not many people can do it. So when you get a facially beautiful contestant, hair back, Olivia Culpo, hello, hair backing up for so much. Why? Because she can. That's an important lesson.
I was just thinking about all the girls that were doing the one and all the different variations of some of the Fernando Wong dresses that we could pinpoint as soon as they walked out.
A lot.
And so we've already talked about some of our favorites. And then who had the big couture bow with the big bustle?
I thought that was Louisiana.
Is that Louisiana?
I think that was Louisiana, the Fernando Wong with the bustle in the back, the organza.
Right, kind of big tufted behind.
Right.
So from the front, I don't know. I've never seen a girl actually have that much behind her like that.
The camera overheated, so we had to take a little bit of a break, and I'm in a robe now because I got cold. Christine took off an eyelash. She's missing an eyelash because she forgot that we were filming the end of this. So,
sometimes you pageant girls know sometimes these things, they just need to come off.
She pulled it off and I was like, what are you doing?
This has got to come off. And I just ripped it off like a Band-Aid, like right there. She's like,
what are you doing? We're not done filming. We're not
she's
done
like, and we're filming. I'm like, yay.
So now you're going to do this with one eyelash. I like this. Real pageant life. The other girl that we wanted to mention was South Carolina because obviously she was very confident. I think that her gown choice, loved it. I would have loved it more on the Miss America stage, just because you think of Miss USA and you think of fashion forward and trendy, and I think that South Carolina has every quality of a Miss USA. She's got everything. She just oozes confidence on stage, but it's a little too pageanty, and I feel like that will cost her. That's what I feel. I feel like the magic was lost because the gown choice, it was a beautiful gown. Loved the gown on her, it looked great, but it didn't look like Miss USA. And I think that when you compete for a pageant, that you have to do your homework and you have to understand that pageant's brand and get the pageant. So when they see you, they say, that's a Miss USA, not that's a Miss America.
Again, not my total favorite, but love her.
Love her.
So
I put her in my top 5.
We'll let it slide.
I put her in my top 5.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pageant girl though, and I don't think that the judges are gonna get that. I think that's the problem. When you compete at Miss USA, all of these judges are celebrity judges, and a lot of them may have never really watched Miss USA or followed it. I think that's the difference. When you go to Miss America, everybody knows Miss America. It was around longer. So when you think of Miss America, you think classic, modest, elegant. I was gonna say homely. I'm sorry, not homely. You think maybe conservative, but when you go to Miss USA, for the longest time when Donald Trump had the organization, it was the most beautiful women in the world. It was always sold as the hottest and the newest, and that's been it's a part of the organization.
It still is.
Being fashion forward. And if you're not wearing something that looks like you could wear it on a red carpet, then I think it's gonna hurt you. I would love to see South Carolina change her gown for finals.
Who knows what'll happen? We have our favorites and we are not sure what happened in interviews. So, we weren't there.
Don't know.
And that's a big deal.
Imagine if that were televised. Ugh, please.
That would be amazing.
Like Miss America, at least they give you your videos when you compete. It took me a long time to watch my interview video. I just cringed watching it. I was really worried, but then I did finally watch it, and I thought, wow, I'm really good at interview. It's very good. Then I was like, this isn't so bad. I might just watch it every day. Except no, I wouldn't. Growing up when I was doing NAM, I would come home from high school, and my mom would be watching me compete and get crowned in junior teen and teen. She would watch the NAM videos on repeat, and I would come home and she would just be crying.
That's one proud mama.
And reliving the moment, and I just, Mom, what are you doing there? What are you doing? She's like, I missed you today, so I just watched the videos. And she's gonna be watching this right now. Hi, Mom. Mom, I love you. I love you.
Hi, Mrs. Walker.
I love you.
I love your daughter.
Oh, this is what we're doing, Mom. Look, I'm with Christine. We're safe in Vegas right now. We're making good choices. Good for us. We're trying to actually get to sleep, which is what we're gonna do right now. Anyways, those are our thoughts. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel if you have not already subscribed. I would love that. Leave your comments below. I know you guys have a lot of opinions. Leave the comments. Please be respectful to all of the contestants. We want to encourage and uplift them. Also follow me on all of my social media at Danny Walker and at Pageant Access on Instagram. All that's also going to be linked in the description below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Good night.